entire experience in Vedica, because you came from political science sort of a background, and you were
Yeah.
looking forward कि यार जो भी मुझे मेरा mention करना है, entrepreneurship करना है, eventually
Hmm.
whatever I learn from Vedica should help me. So can you give us a little brief about वो 1.5 year कैसा था?
I think मतलब लाइफ में बहुत चीजें होंगी. I'll have amazing experiences, but never will anything match up to the experience that I've had in Vedica, because Vedica, of course, a lot of programs professionally transform you, but Vedica as a whole experience personally transformed me into someone who I wanted to become. So, this is something that a lot of people who studied with me would know about me. But when I entered Vedica, I was this quiet person. I also was terrified of public speaking. And I know that more than 60% people would associate with this thought that, public speaking nahi ho payega. And मेरा तो ऐसा डर था that when I was in graduation, I remember final year में एक subject था जहाँ पे हमें बोला था कि भाई group presentation देनी है तुम्हें and you will have to speak for 2 minutes. मैंने हर जुगाड़ लगा दिया था to have an absent notice and not give a presentation. That was the kind of fear that I had for public speaking. So of course, when I came to Vedica, and I already knew by then the 4 tracks, and communication was one track that Vedica especially focuses on. So very initially in the program, I was sure that this comes to an end. This fear of public speaking comes to an end. Once I get over this, that will be my journey to becoming more confident as an individual. And of course, management and everything, I think, came naturally to me because I had a very
Right.
logical background from science. I already had a liberal arts background, so I was able to balance the entire curriculum that way. So communication is what I really wanted to focus on. And I think that changed my life completely. I can tell you 3 highlights. First was that the communication track. Very first week, you're told that you'll be given multiple opportunities to publicly speak and get over that fear, because I know a lot of people in my batch also had that fear. So first week itself, ऐसा art of leadership course था जहाँ पे हमको बस बोला stage पे जाओ, this is your topic, speak now.
Oh.
And I personally had a problem कि भाई, I felt like the audience judges me every time I open my mouth. So that was a problem. And मुझे नहीं पता था कि मैं जाके बोलूं क्या या जो भी है. But I prepared for it well, and I still remember our dean Anuradha. In our orientation, she said that for 18 months and after that, this is always going to be your safe space. This is a judgment-free zone. You can feel comfortable, you can feel vulnerable, you can just be yourself. And with that thought process, I started this journey where I went on stage and I decided to be 100% vulnerable. And that specific moment, I got the confidence of my batchmates. I had a realization that I'm actually quite good when it comes to communication and I need to really work on it. And that, okay, public speaking is something that I can get over and actually ace it eventually. So multiple times in the programs, we were given multiple opportunities ki haan, public speaking karo. And of course, the personal attention, something that you don't get at a lot of different schools. हमारे यहाँ पे one-on-one interaction होता था communication team के साथ, जहाँ पे they used to understand. Yes, absolutely. For all 60 scholars in my program, they used to ask you that where is it that your problem lies, whether it's verbal or it's non-verbal. Do you know it? Do you not know it? They helped you in understanding it. And then I remember Saurav and Sandeep used to be a part of the program. They gave me, it used to be a voluntary assignment. You weren't graded for it. But if you wanted to be better, you will totally make use of this opportunity. वो कहती थी तुम शीशे के सामने जाओ और तुम बस बातें करते रहो अपने आप से. Focus on your body language, how you're speaking, well articulated thoughts, everything. And that's something that I actively took up कि मैं अपने आप पे उस चीज पे जोर लगाऊंगी. And by the end of it, I aced communication to an extent where I started from fear of public speaking to now actually working in B2B sales, जहाँ पे मेरा पूरा काम ही है ये to actually go to people and communicate. So that was one of the highlights of the program. Second was definitely 100% the mentorship that we get here. Again, no other program will provide you so much exposure in terms of mentorship. So very early in the program, we are provided an industry leader as our mentor, and that can be mentor for the program, mentor for life. It completely depends on the kind of relationship you build with them.
Right,
So
right.
I had my mentor Siddharth Jain. He used to be with Rio Tinto then. As a fresher, I was very scared as to क्या करना चाहिए, क्या पढ़ना चाहिए, how
Right.
does workplace look like. So he helped me a lot with, okay, you start by reading finance newspapers. If you feel like you need to do internships, come to me, I will help you with that. So all of that, and then that was one kind of mentorship, and of course the shadow CEO
Yeah,
program.
ये do CEO मेरे ख्याल से executive
Absolutely.
assistant. हाँ.
That is the star of this whole program.
A lot of people have talked about it actually.
Absolutely. I have interacted with a lot of people now in my professional life as well. And this is something that piques the interest of a lot of people, because being with an industry leader, a woman industry leader for 6 weeks is a very rare opportunity. And touch wood, I got really lucky. I had an opportunity to go outside India and get my mentorship from there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so my mentor was Stacy Pillai. She used to be the CEO of Africa Health Placements then, and I was her mentee for 6 whole weeks. I was her total shadow for those 6 weeks. Whatever work she did, she took my opinions on it. She taught me a lot of things about workplace and ethics. She taught me how to work, of course, different projects and stuff, but mostly what are her personal struggles, and of course how it is like to work in a different diversity, in a different bunch of people, away from the country and everything. So that was a very rich experience. By the time I came back, I was just so confident that I am already, like, I know where I am right now. Job placement aayegi, dekha jayega. I know I will get somewhere. Wow. So I think that's the kind of transformation that happened in the journey, where like from this timid person, I became better. Highlight was, I think, majorly the friendships that you have here. People that I met during this program are my total tribe. I've been a part of 3 educational institutions, but the friendships that I've had here are just supreme. These people literally help you with your personal growth. They are invested in your personal journey. I remember at Vedica, just the hostel parties and everything else, of course, everyone has that. But being there for each other when, someone has a very bad mental health episode, or, when someone who comes from a humanities background is extremely scared about the quant exam that's going to happen tomorrow. So we've had 2 a.m. tutoring sessions to, people helping each other out during placements by taking mock interviews. Wow. I think just that kind of support and the idea of collaboration over competition is something that makes Vedica and the people in it distinct from any other program.
Yeah, cool. बहुत दिल से आपका आंसर आया.
अरे मैं बहुत प्यार करती हूँ वेदिका से.
I know what is जो फ्रेंडशिप वाला जो था ना जो आपने कहा, यार मोस्टली ना MBA में फ्रेंड्स नहीं बनते. आइडियली अगर देखा जाए, I know 100% एक या 2 बनता है, ये बाकी सब तुम्हारा ना LinkedIn का नेटवर्क है, बाकी कुछ नहीं है.
I know. So it's very different. I think किसी भी आलम से आप पूछोगे, they'll just be the same, that यहाँ पे जो collaboration है और जितनी help मिलती है आपको अपने peers से, that's absolutely very surprising and very amazing.
That's amazing to know, by the way. You know what? This actually brings to the another question, Pranalika.
Yeah.
When you were preparing for all the entrance exam, right?
Yeah.
You from Delhi. There are a lot of options actually. Delhi, Mumbai. There are a lot of options as far as the B schools are concerned.
Yeah.
Why specifically Vedica? आपने ये क्यों decide किया कि see Vedica का journey आपका बहुत सही रहा, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But how did you choose Vedica? This is the best B school for me, and I'll go for it. A couple of pointers for that.
So I think after I made the decision that management is something that I want to do, I think I took the same path as anybody else, giving CAT examination.
CAT and all.
Yeah, that. ऐसा कोई management exam नहीं होगा जो मैंने नहीं दिया था. But very early into giving these exams, I realized that am I the kind of person who's suitable for the course then? कि भाई, I think people who give their CAT exams are mentally prepared for what they're going to see next. Right. But does it matches my expectation of what I want from a program? So ठीक है, CAT में मुझे बस यही लगता था, see, I'll be very brutally honest, I've been average my whole life in terms of numbers. So I was never the cream layer ever.
A lot of people, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to be ashamed about really, because now I look at myself and I'm like, numbers kabhi utne matter hi nahi karte the. So mera bhi, I think I knew that even if I give those examinations, 85 percentile, maximum 90, but is it good enough to get a good college? And even if you get into the college, is it everything that you'll be able to cope up with? And I personally thought it might, I mean, I totally respect people who can actually cope up with that kind of curriculum altogether. But I wanted something that's more of my expectation to become a leader of tomorrow. So that's when I think I started speaking to people, and a very good friend told me about the Vedica Scholars Program. And
it was a reference. Nice.
Yeah, it was a reference. And I spoke to one of the alums, and you know, आप surprise हो जाते हो, कई बार आप alum से बात करते हो and they're just like, अरे सब झूठ है, ये लिखा है, right? But this alum that I spoke to spoke so highly of the program, and it's not just one. A lot of different people that I spoke to had said like they had all good words for Vedica. But of course, like any other person, I had my doubts. You know, it's not AICTE approved. It's a certificate course.
Right.
The fees is too high. How am I going to pay for it? And you know, future me, even if I get placed, will I be able to switch jobs and everything else? But I had heard so much good about it that I didn't think much into it. I was just like, we'll go with the flow. We'll study what we want to, and when the time comes, we'll deal with it. So I think that's how I made the decision of going to Vedica. But of course, I had a lot of obstacles where family wouldn't agree to it, that, you know, it's not a big brand name. But now they are the people who actually advocate for Vedica to their friends. And I think that's the exact reason why I chose Vedica. कि उनका काम उनके लिए बोलता है. Their scholars are ambassadors for Vedica. So I think that's how I decided to go for Vedica, solving my doubts and just going solely on my instinct and my gut feeling about how positive I felt in the interview, speaking to the alums and everything that they advocated for.
Right. Yeah. And you know what, Mrinalika, honestly, like, unfortunately, we are living in a world, actually, jahan pe na, we believe negative a lot earlier than the positive.
Absolutely.
And you know what? वेदिका के बारे में मेरा एक एक्सपीरियंस रहा है कि लाइक मैंने आपको सुना है, अब कुछ बाकी भी हमने स्टूडेंट्स को इंटरव्यू करा है. When you hear it first time ना, Mrinalika, it's like, is it really that good? And you can't believe कि यार हो ही नहीं सकता.
Oh God!
हमको ना नेगेटिव सुनना है.
I have to tell you this, Ketan. I've had a lot of potential candidates calling me, and eventually, after everything, they're just like, you know, this program, it seems too good to be true. And if it's actually that good, why haven't we heard about it? And I'm like, you know, you're just think of it as you coming across a secret society and being given a chance to be a member of it very early. Because kal ko Vedica will become a brand, but you will be one of those people who got associated with it when it wasn't that big. So you're absolutely right. It's much easier to believe the negatives than the positives.
Right. And आजकल ना mentality वही हो चुका है, because लोग वही कहते हैं कि भाई मुझे कुछ नेगेटिव बता इसके बारे में, मुझे पॉजिटिव मत बता, नेगेटिव बता. तो वो बहुत गलत एटीट्यूड है. And you know what, kudos to you, because you joined in 2018.
Yeah.
4 साल पूरा, like अभी तो वेदिका people started knowing it now.
Absolutely.
उस टाइम पे भरोसा रखा था, तो यार it's a great thing.